Hey guys, welcome back. If you have been around my videos or my blogs for any length of time, you know that two of my favorite phrases are life is living you and life as it is arising is so trustworthy. So I thought it might be fun today to sort of play around with those two phrases to see why they're so helpful, even on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment, practical level. So as we kind of play with this for the next few minutes, I have a suggestion. Your mind, that adorable critic, narrator, whatever you want to call it in your head, that conscious little intellect of yours that likes to believe it's the doer, the controller, the manager. I would like to invite you to sort of metaphorically set that aside, because that narrator, that critic in your head, the one that speaks all day long and narrates your day and tells you when you've been amazing and when you suck and when you should be ashamed and guilty and all those things that the narrator / critic does. When we have conversations like this, the narrator tends to squawk. It does not like conversations about life living us, life carrying us, holding us, gently guiding us. And it definitely does not like conversations about how trustworthy life is. Because to that little critic, that is like the danger zone, because that means something wonderful and bigger and wiser and more intelligent is sort of running the show. And then the critic is out of a job. So for right now, if you'd like to join me with curiosity, like a little kid on the playground playing with a new toy, I invite you to just sort of metaphorically let that narrator in your mind, that critic that talks all day, that has to have control and figure things out and pin things down and have the right answers. Let that squawking little noisy voice kind of go to the side for a minute and join me on the playground. So here we go. Let's take a look at this idea of life is living you and life as it is arising, exactly as it is arising, is trustworthy, it's intelligent. So first let's think about just day-to-day, couple examples, we'll take easy ones that everyone pretty much has. So going to the bathroom, I know, such a fun one to start with, right? But let's just think about that. So you're at your desk at work, or you're sitting on the couch watching your favorite show, and there's a sensation that it's time to go to the bathroom. So you don't go up into your mind and then think, stand up, left foot, right foot, step down the step, turn the corner, sit down, do your business, wash my hands, turn the faucet this way, get the soap, dry my hands this way, then left foot, left foot. And then if the dog happens to run in front of you, you don't think, turn slightly right to avoid the dog. No, life is just moving. There's always a flow of energy. There's always a momentum to life. That just gets you to the bathroom and back. And you're back at your desk doing your work, or you're back in your couch watching your TV show. Or something even maybe a little bigger, like driving your car down the interstate and you need to pass a car. There's not going up into the little intellect, that little conscious mind, that little narrator that says, turn the blinker to the right by lifting the indicator, ever so slightly press the accelerator. No, you don't go through all that in your mind. In a minute, well, really in a couple seconds, you've passed a car and you're on your way. There's no engagement up here. You could still be thinking of your grocery list or how you're gonna help your kid with math homework that night. And somehow, the car passes the car in front of you and you're on your way. There are thousands, probably millions of examples of day-to-day practical living where you're just living. You're just in life. You're not in your head analyzing, planning, strategizing, figuring out. You're just in the flow of life. Life is carrying you forward. Life, as far as I can see, the energy of life is action. The energy of life is doing, is moving, shifting, changing, going forward. That's what wants to happen. And we have this cute little narrator in our mind that says, ooh, we should do this. We should go that way. And then it also says, I did that thing. I made that choice. But I like to, I think of it like a commentator or a group of commentators in a skybox at a football stadium. And they are up there, they're up here and all the football players are down on the field. And they're just talking, narrating, giving their opinions and their judgments. And he should have done this and he should have done that. But not one of those narrators, not one of those commentators, not one of those commentators in the skybox can actually pick up the football and run it 20 yards for the touchdown. And not a single one of those commentators in the skybox can make a fumble. Our narrator, that critic in your head that analyzes and talks in your voice in first person all day, isn't the doer. It's just the narrator. It's just the one saying, look what I did. Oh my gosh, I'm awesome. Or, oh my God, look what I did. I suck. I did it again. I drank the vodka again. I ate the carton of ice cream again. I went to the casino when I knew I shouldn't have. It just talks. It narrates, it criticizes, it judges, because that's what it does. It's just like a little perfectly evolutionarily designed machine doing what it knows how to do. And we, since we were like 2 years old or 3 years old, have innocently learned to identify with that as who we are. So let's come back to this playground, this idea of that is not you. That is not what's moving you through life, pulling the levers and pushing the buttons like the Wizard of Oz. You are in the flow of life. You are in the current. Life is living you. Life is moving you forward. Life is getting you where you need to be. And life is trustworthy as it's arising. And now let's look at this in terms of if life is trustworthy, then why am I grabbing the vodka? If life is so trustworthy and intelligent, why am I avoiding the interstate and taking 2 extra hours to get somewhere? Why am I binge eating? Why? How is that intelligent? How is that trustworthy? If life is so great and I'm in this momentum of life, and life is carrying me, propelling me, pulling me forward. If what wants to happen is action and doing, and it's kind and intelligent, then why does it arise as those things? Why does it arise as me yelling at my kid and then 2 seconds later feeling so guilty and feeling like I'm the worst mom? Why? How does that all play out if life is living me and I'm not this doer, this critic, this narrator, if that is not my identity? And I think that's actually kind of easy when we look at it with curiosity, when we look at it through the lens of a little kid, not through the lens of the narrator, not through the lens of the little squawker in your head that has to manage and control and pin down and figure out. Come back to looking through the lens of a curious little kid, the lens of your heart that I think instinctively knows something bigger is making, kind of moving us all together, like a school of fish in an ocean in a current. Something is guiding us, moving us, living us. So why would it live us to yell at our child? Why would it live us to pick up the vodka? Why would it live us to binge on the Oreos or the ice cream? Why? How is that intelligent? And I think, as far as I can see, the kindness of the design is that life is always arising to show us where we're still sort of lost in confusion, where there still is some programming, some conditioning, some old stale beliefs hanging on, generally on an unconscious level, that are ready to be brought to the light, to see, to hold, to look at, and to release and heal. Ultimately, when I talk with my clients about healing, that's what I'm talking about. Not fixing, but true healing, which is seeing through a new lens. Seeing through a new lens of curiosity and lightness, like a little kid, and being open to seeing that life is trustworthy, and that each time it arises as the very thing our mind hates, like yelling, binge eating, drinking, all the things we do that down in our heart we know we don't want to be doing. I think we all find patterns in our lives where life is arising to show us again and again and again, hey, something is still being believed here that's not true. There's some old programming and conditioning that is ready to be seen in the light, looked at, held, felt, and released and healed. For most of us, it has to do with our innate sense of safety. Are we safe in the world? Or it has to do with our worth. Are we worthy? Are we inherently worthy simply because we're alive? Our value, our ability to be loved, our ability to be seen, to show up in the world. There are so many unconscious beliefs that kind of just have been hanging on because no one's ever taught us to look at them. No one's ever told us to question some of the programming and conditioning we have. So we're like fish in water. We don't know we have it. So why is life trustworthy? Why does life live us to do the very things deep down in our hearts we don't want to do? Because somewhere, unconsciously, we're still holding on to a belief that our security, our safety, our worth, our value, our ability to be loved is tied up in something in this world, tied up in a circumstance, a person. And life gives us so many chances to see it, to see where we're attached. Where is our identity attached? Where is our well-being attached? Where does it look like our safety, our love, our peace, and our joy come from? If it looks like it comes from anything other than the fact that we're alive, the fact that we're breathing, then life will, thank goodness, life in all its kindness and its intelligence, it will arise again and again to show us where we're attached, where there's still some confusion about who we are, about where our identity is, about where we're orienting from. And it will keep arising as often as it needs to, as the very things that our mind hates, until we're ready to question, to be curious, to look squarely at the thing that our mind hates, the drink, the binge, the yelling, whatever it is, the financial decisions that continue to go awry, the patterns that keep showing up as life. They're brilliant. They are so smart. And as we start to sort of play with, and again, we're playing with this, remember? We're on the playground like little kids. As we continue to play with openness, with curiosity, what if life is living me? What if I am part of this flow, this beautiful current, this unfolding moment by moment of life? And I have a perfectly functioning, perfectly evolutionarily designed little mind, narrator, critic that loves to judge and predict and control and manage. Fine, who cares? They're just like the commentators in the skybox. They have microphones and big loud voices, but they can't do anything. That's how your mind is. So look at it, question it, let it squawk and take a peek. Life will carry you. Life, when your hands are off the wheel, does what it wants to do. It moves, it takes action, it goes forward. I liked this last little piece that I love this imagery, this metaphor. Have you ever seen the grocery carts or the carts at Target where they look like race cars and you put the little toddler in, it has a steering wheel, but the mom or the dad is still pushing? I love picturing that we are like the little 2-year-old in the grocery cart or the Target cart with our little hands on the plastic wheel, and we're like trying to go right, we're trying to go left, and we have all kinds of thoughts about which aisles we want to go down with, like the candy and the toys. But it doesn't matter. We can think all day long, I want to go right. I want to stop binging. I want to stop drinking. I want to stop yelling. But at the end of the day, the mom or the dad is turning the cart exactly where it needs to go. Life is sort of living you, guiding you where you need to go so that you can see where you're still attached to an identity that's in confusion, where you're still attached to something in this world, this, world of form that looks like it can give you peace and safety and security and joy and freedom. When you're lost in confusion and you're looking out for where's my joy, where's my happiness, where's my peace, where's my freedom, where's the end of my habit? When you're looking out, you're orienting from confusion. Life will arise again and again as the behavior, the habit, the circumstance most needed to help you remember who you are, to help you remember to orient from joy, peace, freedom, and well-being, because that is your true self. I hope you'll continue to play with this. Your mind might be scrambling right now, and that's fine. That's what minds do, because they want to pretend they're in control. But just keep playing. What if? Play the what if game with lightheartedness, with curiosity, like a child on the playground. What if you are part of the flow of life, the unfolding, and moment by moment, life is absolutely trustworthy, precisely as it's showing up. There's freedom in that. So go play and just notice when your mind starts squawking. Thanks, mind. I know you're doing your job. Thanks so much. I cannot wait to hear your responses to this. I'm sure there will be plenty. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.